Are you completely sick and tired of the kids coming in the kitchen, asking for food, asking for this, and you just feel like you can never clean up? So whether your kids are virtual or they're going to school, I've got your lunch solutions for you. Stick around. Hi, welcome back. I'm Gina. This is Tight Shit Mama. If you're new here, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button right there. I make a new video every Monday where I talk about budgeting, decluttering, meal planning, implementing routines, and a little personal development. So this idea came from quarantine back in February, March, that area of our lives. And it just seemed like the kitchen was always open. And just when I thought like everything was clean and tidy, one of the four kids would come in and just get some chips. And then three other kids would come in and be like, oh, is it snack time? No, it wasn't really snack time, no. But that one was hungry because they didn't eat breakfast, or it was nonstop. And when we started back up this fall, we've got a mixed house. We've got some kids going to school. We've got one kid home doing virtual for the next foreseeable future. And I thought one of the things that I have to change is the kitchen and the hours of the kitchen, because I just need to feel like there's some sort of clean spot for me to like feel rested and rejuvenated and not be making food and cleaning up food all day long. So here is my solution. And I'm also going to give you some ideas of what my kids are actually packing for their lunches. They were packing lunches for their school. But it seemed like once we went into quarantine, it was just free for all. People would be getting up at different times, and I felt like by 10 o'clock, some kids had been up for hours and other kids were just rolling out of bed, and I was making third, fourth breakfast for everybody. In the meantime, I still hadn't eaten anything. So I thought this has got to change. So my solution that I recommend for all of you has been such a game changer, and I'm gonna continue this all year, even in the summer. This is how much I love this. No matter what my kids are doing, they are up by whatever, 6:30, whatever time they have to get to school, and they make a lunch. Whatever they pack in their lunch is what they have. We are pretending that they are at school between 8 and 3. Oh, you want a snack? Did you pack it in your lunch? No, I'm sorry, try again tomorrow. That's how it's going. And I'm telling you, we're only like 3 or 4 days into this. It's a life changer. My kitchen is clean. You know, look at, can you see my kitchen? It's clean. Look at that. And right now there's 3 kids playing somewhere in this house and nobody's in the kitchen snacking because they know that this kitchen does not open back up again until 3 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock is when we have our typical after school snacks, like ice cream, things you can't pack in your lunch. Usually that's when my kids get like a super junk, you know, is at 3 o'clock. So last week I talked to you about how I'm kind of stepping up a little bit of my storage solutions in the kitchen and how I decluttered and just kind of upping my game a little bit. And one of the things that I have put off for years and years is treating myself to uniform food containers. I want to say Tupperware, but they're not Tupperware brand, but you know what I mean, food storage. So I invested in all the same brands, actually 2 brands. I'm going to show you what I bought. And I'm going to show you just what I'm doing to kind of make it easier for the kids to pack their own lunches. So I'm not really a meal prepper, but I am prepping a little bit of lunch, maybe a day or 2 out. That's all, just to ensure that it gets eaten and I don't have a bazillion dollars to spend on Tupperware. So it just happens to be this brand, Sistema. That's the one I bought. And the other one is Bee Sprout. So these little guys are on Amazon, and well, they're both on Amazon, but this is actually for making your own baby food and how you would store it, but it's the perfect size, and in here is applesauce. So I'm gonna go through what we're doing. Usually, whether it's quarantine or not, we have a meal of the week. That means that I buy one thing. So it might be roast beef and cheese, okay? So then everybody gets roast beef and cheese that whole week. It might be chicken salad, and I'll make a huge batch of chicken salad, tuna salad, whatever. You get the idea. And if you don't like that, you can always have peanut butter and jelly. But that kind of keeps my grocery list under control, and it also helps us get through the food. You know, I don't like throwing away one piece of ham or one piece of turkey. So this kind of is my way of getting rid of the food in a timely manner. So this week it happens to be tuna salad. So that's up here. And the kids can either do tortillas with that, or they can do bread. In the mornings, so these are some other containers that I invested in recently, and I got all these big guys at Home Goods. So I'm gonna show you. Every morning I pull out all these things and I put it on the island, and the kids just stand around and they quickly make their lunches. So a lot of stuff is prepped and ready for them to just grab and go, but some stuff they're gonna have to still assemble in the morning. So I'm gonna show you all of that too. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna show you is the drawer of Tupperware. So this is, again, where I really invested in getting all the same stuff. So these are sandwich, pretty thin sandwich sized ones, okay? For traditional sandwiches. This is gonna just be from storage of lids. We had these containers from previous years, and that's just if the kids had a hot lunch. So you can see my 4-year-old has already packed her lunch for tomorrow to the best that she can, meaning there's some cold items that are gonna go in the morning. This is where we also store some extra lunch boxes. So again, this is the stuff I've kind of prepped ahead of time. So it's portion controlled. They're not taking half the bag of stuff. So I have tortilla chips in these guys, and then in the fridge, you're gonna see, actually, I'll show you right here. I've got guacamole in here, and I just buy a bigger container and I just scoop it in there, and it's just enough for the kids that they're not wasting a ton of stuff. So, and then I've got some raisins, and these are crackers, and then with the crackers, the kids are gonna take some cubed cheese with that as well. So they'll just, in the morning, they'll put the cheese in there. What's in here? Oh, these are cashews. So this stuff will change weekly, and really this is only enough for one day because the kids can have, I don't mind if they have raisins, nuts, and then you pick one of these, okay? I'm pretty flexible, except they have to take a fruit and they have to take a veggie. So this is peppers, this is carrots. So you have to grab one of those. And then I also have, we call it Dippy Dip, but it's ranch dressing, okay? So then they can take one of these with the ranch dressing inside. So these are just really the greatest size I have found. I ordered a bunch, and then I ordered a whole second order. I'm thinking about getting a third. So this is applesauce, because my kids are always asking me to buy the applesauce that is in the individual containers, but you know me, it's too expensive and it's horrible for the earth. So we're not buying individual containers. But I'm gonna show you also some things, because I know you guys like to have ideas of what I'm feeding my kids, and you know, everybody likes fresh ideas for a new school year. So this is the fruit. I will tell you this, you have to cut fruit for your kids if you expect them to eat it. You just have to work in the cafeteria for like 15 minutes and realize that any kid that comes to school with an apple that's not sliced is gonna throw it right in the trash. I know, it's sickening, I can't stand it. I tell my kids, like, you better not throw it away, at least bring it home. But I will quickly slice up some fruit in the morning if they wanted that. Also, my littlest one loves pickles, so those would fit perfectly in these. Again, here's a whole block of cheese that I buy from Aldi, so I just slice that up and people can take that with some crackers. We could also do pepperoni slices with that. So this is the huge quantity that I had made of tuna salad, but now it's Thursday right now, and that would go with the tortilla, and if we had cheese, but they ate all the cheese today. So yogurt also is something that I could put in these tiny little containers instead of buying the individual Chobanis. My kids are always asking me for those things, but again, they're too expensive and they're bad for the earth. And this is just the applesauce that I am going to put in these containers. In addition to that, the kids will take their water bottles, and that's probably it. I think that's their lunch for right now. Okay guys, so that is pretty much what they're taking for lunch, but I just wanted to give you a few more ideas because I think it's interesting to hear what other people are sending to school with their kids, and you think, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of that. But So cereal is another thing, especially if they're going to extended care in the morning before school. They might need a little breakfast, so maybe you do mini bagels with cream cheese or something, but you can do a little cereal, dry cereal. My kids were actually telling me that there's a kid at their school that takes dry cereal and then they buy some milk at the snack bar, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty good idea. But you could do peanut butter with apple slices, you could do peanut butter with celery sticks, you could do the celery sticks with the ranch dressing, dippy dip. So I just think kids love, my kids are so excited about these little individual sized portions. So this is the size that I bought for the chips and that kind of thing. But also you're gonna have some bigger fruit as well. So sometimes like watermelon, if I'm gonna cut a watermelon, a cantaloupe, or a pineapple, that's kind of the fruit for the day or two because I wanna make sure it gets used and eaten. So I'll say to the kids, you know, skip this choice and everybody takes one of what mommy has cut, and I'll put those in here. At least beginning this year I will. So that is my plan, and I'm telling you, the stress level is so much lower because I don't feel like I am guarding this kitchen all day long, and the kids have really taken to it very quickly. Just, this is what you have for your lunch and this is what you're eating all day long. Because I would say to them during quarantine, you're not gonna just stroll down to the cafeteria and be like, oh, what do you have? You know, oh, what are you making? Anything? You know, like, no, you're in class and you have designated snack times and lunch time. And I tried doing that, but my kids just, it's hard to get 4 people to all come down at one time and have snack or have lunch at once, and it just seemed like it was never ending. And some people weren't even eating their lunch until 3 or 4 o'clock, and then I'm like, well, it's almost dinner, you know? And then they want like, wasn't there a snack like after school? And it was driving me crazy. So anyway, this is my solution. I'm really, really happy with it right now. And again, this is like 1 or 2 days worth of prep, and while the kids are at school, I'll be washing. I bought enough to kind of wash, and then they have their set at school. So I did buy a lot of containers this year. But again, that was kind of my revamping of my kitchen and kind of stepping it up a little bit. But you can very easily, like with our cheese cubes, this is Parmesan cheese container from Aldi. I use these all the time for storage. So you don't need to go spend $100 on storage items, but check out Home Goods, Ross, TJ Maxx. Those places are always great for this kind of stuff for your fridge, to organize your fridge. So happy back to school, and let's keep them out of the kitchen at least from 8 to 3. Take care, have a great week.